Crossland waits for a start here. So we get things underway on the Sunday ticket. Panthers, they're up beyond this game. They'll take on the Seagulls, another big one, live on Fox League. Kickoff from the Melbourne Storm. It's Sharp who makes the catch. And he gives it off to Jacob Saifiti, flying solo today as far as the Saifitis are concerned, with Daniel out with a knee injury. Jack Hetherington an inclusion along with Matt Croker on the bench for the Newcastle Knights. Here's Marju, works it up towards Hughes and takes it just beyond the Knights 30. Midway through this opening set, Adam Elliott stepping, comes beyond the 40 there, tackled by Katoa with some help from Bronson Garlick. Now Saifiti a second carry in this opening set. Good meters for the Knights. Brought it all the way back to the halfway line as Crossland waits. Feeds it back for Hastings, who just waits a kick in behind the front line. It goes down to Farlongo, who give it off to Grant Anderson on the wing on this right-hand side. The back line utility who's come off the bench in their last two appearances.
Yeah, that's a nice set to start the game, but this is where I'm going to be looking at the Newcastle Knights, how defensively and how strong they are, getting numbers in the tackle. Very important to put the Melbourne Storm big outside backs on the ground. See them working the ball up now, up over their 30.
So Sean Ball, strong tackle there. Underneath it was Adam Elliott, who bounces back to his feet for a moment. It looked as though he might have copped a bit of a head knock. We'll keep an eye on him, but he's back there in the line and looks to be okay. Big impact there as Hughes kicks down towards Marju. They'll bring it back here and play it at their own 20. Harry Grant waiting on the bench, a bit of tape on that right ear. No doubt a bit of a nick from the battle on Wednesday night against the Blues. A successful one for the Queensland Maroons as Crossland, his right-hand side, works it across to Tuala. Get to him, drive back the lightweight winger. Good strong effort there by Trent Liero. A bit sideways in this set. Need a good carry here to straighten things up from Thompson to Hastings. Here is Sharp, who is Sharp. Moves to the edge there, taken down by Nick Meaney. Bring it back beyond the halfway line though, from the sideline. A bit of pressure on Jackson Hastings. Got the kick away in time. It comes down to Coates. They'll bring it back and they'll begin just outside their 20. No problems for both teams in their opening sets with the ball.
Well, that should settle the nerves there for young Sharp. Gets his first touch. Very important to have your first touch. Make it a good one. Let's hope he can get himself involved in the game here this afternoon.
King playing it for Melbourne. Cross to Wishart, does a bit of footwork there. Tyson Frizzell bumped up into this reshuffle Newcastle Knights forward back after being named on the bench. Kamikamitha just outside the 40. Finds Hughes, and now Katoa puts in the kick. They'll sit up there, one bouncer for Sharp, who tries to get away from Liero. They wrap him up at the 10, and not a bad kick from Eli Katoa.
Yeah, got wonderful skills. They practice their skills so well, don't they? The Melbourne Storm put under pressure there to put the kick down. It was perfectly weighted. Again, it's the Newcastle Knights to start the game, just trying to get through their sets.
Joining us on the sideline today, as we said, Nico Pajarillo.
Good afternoon, Warren, Steve, and all our viewers at home. This weather, very typically Melbourne, let me tell you, a bit chilly. Plenty of drizzle overnight, but it cleared up earlier this morning, and the pitch is in good condition despite hosting a Jersey Flegg game prior to this NRL play.
Thank you, Nico. As the kick comes from Cogger here, goes down towards Xavier Coates. He's got Farlongo back there with him, but he brings it forward. It is pretty much a game played between the 20s at either end to begin here. We've had just over 4 minutes. 3 completed sets for the Knights without incident. 2 for the Melbourne Storm. Down the short side goes Wishart. Walk them out. Adam O'Brien was talking about his markers and doing a good job today after they were exposed by the Bulldogs in that 30-point loss in the slop up in Newcastle last week in round 13. And Wishart testing out the markers there down that short side. Liero here. Last play as Adam O'Brien watches on from Garlick. Comes across to Hughes, who will kick it away towards Sharp on that right-hand side. They'll bring it forward. Josh King called out of the play, so the tackle made by Wishart. And the Knights through Tuala once again from their own 20. All in play. From the kick-off to this point. It's remarkable how long we can go in games. In 2024, the ball stays in play. You get value for money watching the NRL as Crossland brings it back to almost the halfway line. Elliott, a couple of plays here at the back end of this set. They find Kai Pearce-Paul, who's taken down. 10 into Melbourne territory. Hastings puts it in the air. Lucas called offside, so drops off on the effort. Crossland there to make the tackle. And in fact, it was Fletcher Sharp. I've got the wrong mullet.
Yeah, already a couple of runs out of the dummy half. Just have a look at how the ease Melbourne Storm cruising up through the middle. Just have a look at the retreat after a quick play the ball here. Just offering yards right through the middle. They're able to run a long way before they're getting tackled.
Hughes, emphasising that point, plays it into Newcastle territory. King, as Wishart finds Farlongo, sees a bit of space and almost goes straight through the tackle there of Cogger and also Gagai. Now a dummy from Smith down the short side. Chips Sharp. Position on that side of the field, comes up with a very good catch.
Gee, he was alert, wasn't he, that time, Warren? Just got himself on his bike straight away. A different play from Remus Smith with the chip over the top. But look at the positioning here from Sharp. Showed plenty of courage to get down that ball straight away. Well done from the young fella. Good start of the game.
Looks a confident type. His early touches already as they work it on this left-hand side. Here is Lucas wearing 12 but playing in the centres with Christian Papalungi, the 18th man today for Newcastle. Side feeding for Crossland. Goes to Cogger from his own side of halfway. He'll kick down towards Coates. It's a case of who'll blink first here in this game. We've got the best part of 8 minutes. Still the ball hasn't come to a stop.
The great thing about it too, the referee's put his whistle in his pocket so far, so we're seeing a good challenge at the moment. There's Crossland, the tackle over the top, aggressive type. And again, King able to run 10 metres upfield.
They play the ball though. Garlic for the arrow. Wishart passes forward. Well, there you go. Finally a mistake from one of these two teams, and it's Melbourne who do blink first. And the Knights will have a chance here, their best chance so far in the game, to put a little bit of pressure on the Storm defence.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it is an opportunity for them to play a little bit of football. The first error that was seen from the Melbourne Storm in their own half gives the Newcastle Knights the opportunity. Let's see if they play a little bit here. Rather than going one out next to the ruck, you won't beat Melbourne Storm playing like that.
Pensive, Craig Bellamy watching on, wondering how his team will fare here under pressure for the first time in the game as Cogger shows it to the right-hand side but takes the tackle of Wishart and also Sean Blore. Frizzell, hop and a step. And here they are, finally in the red zone. Crossland comes to Hastings, goes out the back Sharp. His pass goes to ground, knocked on by Greg Marju. Catch and pass situation for the rookie fullback. And it just didn't sit up for that man, Greg Marju.
Yeah, just hope he doesn't get his head down now. He had a good start of the game. I think it was a little bit of indecision there. He was going to play the cutout pass there. Marju with the knock on. First opportunity gone banging for the Newcastle Knights. You won't get many against Melbourne.
Right in, please, Brunson. Fletcher. Shot clock off.
Hughes with the scrum feed. Melbourne win it as Anderson comes in off his wing, takes a carry there. Spend some time in the halves if needed, as he's done in recent weeks for the Melbourne Storm. As Garlic waits at dummy half. Across to Eli Katoa. What an improved footballer he is in 2024. Benefiting from the coaching of Craig Bellamy in his time with the Storm after moving from the Warriors and living up to the potential he showed in his early seasons at across the ditch. Wishart. A tackle early here, looking for the sideline. We'll find it. The kick, though, well outside the 40, so Newcastle Knights will work it away from a set play situation, and a bit of a whack on the bugle there for Tyron Wishart.
A little bit of nick on the nose there. I don't think it'll worry him too much. Gee, they've got an array of kickers, haven't they? Already 3 kickers used in this game from the Melbourne Storm. We've seen Remus Smith go up the short side, and that time from Wishart. Plenty of options.
Marju will play it as it comes his left-hand side to Dylan Lucas. He's a natural fill-in as an outside back. Began his time with the Newcastle Knights in the lower grades, playing in the centres. A successful transition, though, into the edge roll, formerly filled by Lachlan Fitzgibbon. Cogger comes across to Frizzell, who runs towards Wishart. And back across the halfway line. Crossland down the short side. Cogger bypasses Gagai. Here's Sharp. Good ball. Chihuahua looking in field. Sharp had a crack at it. He lost his footing as the ball came back off a Melbourne fingertip. And now a shift. What about this for a counter-attack? Some confidence from Melbourne on the change of possession inside their own 20.
I'll tell you what, they scrambled pretty well too there, the Newcastle Knights. Plenty of their jumpers around the ball. You saw Melbourne trying to shift. Good short side raids. Cogger it was for the Newcastle Knights up the short side. The pass just went astray back in field. Straight away, the Melbourne Storm on the attack.
It's a lovely ball put on by Sharp for Chihuahua. Much room to move in. They did well. Here is chance on this right-hand side for Katoa. They get numbers in front of him, Newcastle. Melbourne midway through this set. As Hughes straightens, finds Wishart, turns ball underneath. Permanent fixture now. And there's one onside for Craig Bellamy. One of those much improved edge forwards, having moved from the Tigers. Liero loses it backwards, and then King taps it back to Wishart. Now there's a whistle. The referee is going to say there was a knock-on in the middle of the field in one of those early fumbles. Xavier Coates, a bit of a knock to the mouth, so a couple of the Melbourne Storm players contact there in the head, and Melbourne will challenge here early on.
Liero was who just tried to squeeze that ball out. Whether he knocked it on into one of the Newcastle Knights players, did look like it went back to start with. Just have a look at him just twisting around and try to offload. Crossland involved in the tackle. Trying to strip the ball there.
The ball's lost backwards there by Trent Liero. It's play on at this stage. Kick. Newcastle did not touch the ball.
Just have a look at it. Cleans it up cleanly here. King just taps it back. Oh, I think that's gone backwards.
Good. Just see the direction that Josh King knocks the ball.
Watching it live, I'm with you, Blocker. It looked backwards from King.
The ball is knocked backwards by Josh King. Play on at this stage. Referee. The referee then blows a whistle for a mutual infringement.
Well, had the referee
Challenge is successful.
Blown the whistle, either the pass from Law would have been called forward,
forward and
or indeed knocked on.
Yeah, you're right.
So the referee blowing the whistle when he did helped Melbourne out there, as it turns out.
This will be 4. That's 4.
Well, let's have a look what they can do now, the Melbourne Storm. We saw a loss of the football down the other end. Newcastle couldn't complete. See if it's the opposite now for the Melbourne team.
And restarting off the tackle count. Saw a touch of the ball there from a Newcastle Knight. Here is the last. Hughes will chip it towards the corner. Pressure on Chihuahua. Out there, up against Coates, who taps it backwards. Wishart had a crack at it. Sharp needs to get to ground and does exactly that. And now Wishart looking over his shoulder at the referee.
He's just laying there, said get up.
He was waiting for the referee to say you've got to move, but referee doesn't have to tell you to move. He just took too long, according to Adam G, and that really helps out the Knights, who are pinned in a corner there.
Yeah, they had them where they wanted them to. Wishart giving away the penalty there, just laying on a little bit too long. Just playing a little bit of fox there that time.
Break for the Newcastle Knights after the Storm got one, the captain's challenge, which they win and retain. And now Elliott, Hastings, after Pierce Paul on this left-hand side of the field. Wrapped up by Hughes and also Katoa. Now Saifiti across the advantage line and running downhill there. He'll play it for Crossland. Comes to Elliott, and through Cogger, Frizzell, Gagai, just blows past Smith, who gets a piece of him eventually, helped out by Coates, but they're back here inside the 20. Last tackle, Cogger for Hastings. They're pushing up looking for a kick. He supplies one, flying through. Anderson makes a good grab, but is drilled back into the in goal.
Yeah, it's a nice tackle there. Good chase through. Dylan Lucas, as you mentioned, playing in the centres this afternoon. Good chase there. Beautifully pinpointed kick. It was well taken, but driven back into the in-goal area. Now we see the Newcastle Knights starting to mount a bit of pressure. It's a great run by Saifiti in behind the play the ball a little bit earlier. Got them on that front foot for that set.
And the catch made in the air by Fletcher Sharp, and Bronson Garlick might have injured himself in that contact and giving away a penalty at the same time.
Let's have a look at their thoughts now to see whether they do. Tackled mid-air. Might have copped a knee in the rib there.
Play Phoenix.
Painful. I think he'll be getting on with it.
Now the Knights, a lot more dangerous than they did last week against the Bulldogs in the wet back at home. Crossland, no dummy half, no looker for Cogger. He supplies one also there for Saifiti. They're only 5 metres out. Crossland to carry from Elliott here. He goes wide to Cogger. Here's Gagai again up against Smith. Good battle this one. Two experienced setters going head-to-head at the moment. It's Gagai winning that one on points. Cogger reaching for a great delivery from dummy half. Crossland, Hastings, comes across to Lucas. Tries to put some pressure there on Meany. Almost finds his way to the line. Crossland only got there, the dummy half, just in time. Elliott, there was almost a mix-up. Thompson cut down there by Wishart. They need a quick play the ball. They get one. Trying to reach out and plant it down. Fletcher Sharp was desperate. It looks like the referee's going to say no dice.
It'll be interesting to see whether the ball went backwards after Sharp was trying to put the ball down.
If he loses possession,
Lost possession. What a tackle from Wishart. He was beaten all ends up there by Thompson and somehow made the tackle. There's the ball.
Just to see how the ball comes out there.
Boy, there's a bit to look at here.
It's got to be a loose carry, hasn't it?
Starts to come away there and then off his own left arm backwards. Clean bowls another Newcastle Knight.
Fletcher Sharp loses possession of the ball.
Jack Cogger is on the scene. Does he touch it and knock it on, or does it clean bowl
Just
him?
making sure it touches the forearm of the Melbourne player, which constitutes a knock-on. We have a decision.
Better eyes than me.
Forearm of the Melbourne player. What? It looked like it was Fletcher Sharp's own forearm that knocked the ball backwards. Was it touching a Melbourne player in the initial loss? Just watch it there again. So the bunker coming up with no try as far as the Knights were concerned, because Hastings, he thought it was all backwards. Motioned as such to the referee, but on debut, 20-year-old Fletcher Sharp goes as close as that to putting the Knights in front.
Yeah, it was a little bit unfortunate at that time. Newcastle had the better of the first half so far. They've expansive game. They've gone up the short side a couple of times. Unfortunate not to score there. So Melbourne yet to click into gear.
Here is King running over the top there of Adam Elliott. Big contact between those two as Riero spins away from the tackle of Saifiti. Melbourne rolling it nicely again from their own end, and now helped by a set restart. Knights under pressure there and trying to artificially slow down the play of the ball, in the opinion of the referee, as Garlick, Kamikamitha feeds it for Hughes. Wishart, another set restart. 2 in 2 plays here for Melbourne. And they've got a full set now from the edge of the 20. Their best attacking chance of the game. Wishart got up a little bit dusty there off the back of that contact. Might have worn one right in the ribs as he went to ground. Garlick counting numbers from dummy half. Liero for Hughes. A bypass Katoa. Here is Meaney. So much speed. Nick Meaney pouring into a hole. Scores for Melbourne.
Yeah, it's clockwork, isn't it? They got that repeat set there, the Melbourne Storm. I was just wondering on that right-hand side, Hughes involved. Set play. There's a Harvey Norman replay here. Look at Hughes setting himself. Meaney. Well, if you have a look in field, outside shoulder, you saw Hastings get knocked over. But that's play on. Look at the speed. Against the back rower there. Just a little bit too quick for Dylan Lucas. Meaney, what a player he's been for the last few years here. Playing at fullback. He's had a go at the centres, played on the wing. Just a little bit too much pace there. And opens the scoring for the Melbourne Storm.
The restart's really marching Melbourne down the field. And they can be clinical at times. It worked beautifully right there. Hughes feeding it on, and Meaney, just that little extra bit of speed against Dylan Lucas, got on his outside shoulder and couldn't be reeled in. Try number 50 in the NRL for this man, former Bulldog Nick Meaney, who has, again, as we mentioned with Eli Katoa and Sean Blore, really blossomed in the NRL under the coaching of Craig Bellamy.
Yeah, it's clockwork, isn't it? We see that Hughes involved again. All the good stuff that they do, the Melbourne Storm, comes off the back of him, but the speed, mismatch that time. Meaney too quick, beautifully positioned, got himself on the outside of his man, and the Melbourne Storm opened the scoring after we saw the Newcastle Knights down the other end. Could have opened the scoring there, but they go the length of the field after a repeat set, and they're too good. 4-0.
Out near the sideline, we approach the midpoint of this opening half. Meaney, good goal kicker, bends it back and makes it 6 points to 0. Melbourne over the Newcastle Knights. The first of 2 games here on the Sunday ticket. Ryan Pappenhausen, Will Warbrick enjoying things. Watch it again. Hughes bypassing Katoa. Hastings there, taken to the ground by the decoy run of Eli Katoa, and Hastings went to the referee and said, "Surely, sir, I was denied a chance to stay in the line." But the bunker, taking a look at that, they were of the opinion that he was never going to get to Nick Meaney, who was on the outside of Lucas, who was a defender to the left of Jackson Hastings, as he looks at the defence, and they agreed that it was all okay.
Yeah, I like that. I like that decision. There's no way. The tackle could have been made there on Meaney by Dylan Lucas. He was the man that got beaten on the outside, so common sense prevails.
Had Meaney stepped off the right foot and beaten Lucas back on the inside, that would have been a vastly different scenario. The try stands, 6 points to 0. It's Eli Katoa who will work it away here for Melbourne. Law. The passes wide from deep inside their own territory. They have evolved their style over the years, Melbourne, going back to the success they had some 15 years ago under Craig Bellamy, and they would just smash it through the middle in their own end until they got well into the other team's half before they started to play with a little bit of width. The game certainly has changed. Split to Sharp. Play it here just outside the 20.
Perfect time to bring Harry Grant on too. Melbourne Storm first to score. You know how dangerous he is out of dummy half. He'll be fresh, I'm sure.
Harry Grant on the bench, got Lowry there with headphones on as well. Listening to the instructions from upstairs from the coach as Saifidi plays it. Across to Thompson here. It's an offload away. Crossland is there, ready. He tends to be very much a heads-up player, always thereabouts, pushing up just in case. Frizzell. Now Elliott comes through Hastings, good hand, sharp. Lucas set upon there by Anderson. That was nicely read. He jams in, ball and all tackle as well. One more for Newcastle. Hastings puts it up. Too much pressure here on Farlongo, who didn't quite start to the game, but we know what he can do. Absolutely electric.
Oh, he's a speed machine, isn't he? Just as the opposition gets a little bit tired. There it is, Crossland leading the line speed. That's what Newcastle need.
That's why he was elevated into the starting side today. A bit of a reaction for Adam O'Brien off the back of what happened against the Bulldogs. King here, just outside their 30. Oh, a mix-up there. Farlongo didn't think the ball was going to him. Here it is, a chance. Hastings gives it off to Lucas. Melbourne make a mistake, and the Knights make them pay.
Yeah, and he pays them back too. Lucas with the try. Hastings straight onto the loose ball. Perfect bounce there, just bounced straight up into his hands, but he's good enough to get the ball back on the inside to Lucas, who stayed alive. And that is a great hit back there from the Knights. Expecting the face ball there, just threw out a hand. And that's good play. You don't see him miss tackles like that. There were two there to make the tackle. Hughes was there, but too strong. Runs away from the opposition. Lucas scores right in the right place to score, right under the post. He beats Meaney. And that's a good hit back from the Knights.
Having gone so close not that long ago, only to concede points at the other end through Nick Meaney. Speaking of heads-up plays, he was there as Hastings swooped on the ball and pushed up in support. It was a matter of just drawing and passing from there. Scoring under the black dot makes it nice and easy for this man, Jackson Hastings, to draw the Newcastle Knights back level. As we said before the kickoff, 6 wins and 6 losses for Newcastle coming into this game. Very important couple of weeks coming up. Today against Melbourne. Next week they take on the Panthers. And you'll know exactly where they stand after you go through that double, Nico Pajarillo.
Absolutely, and some great speed there from Dylan Lucas, Newcastle's Rookie of the Year last season. It's been great to see his progression from the New South Wales Cup into first grade, and he's really turned into a reliable player for the Knights. His teammate Tyson Frizzell spoke to the media during the week and praised Dylan's consistency, describing him as Mr. Fix-It. Now, he's played in the centres, he's played on the edge, and even in the middle for the Newcastle Knights.
There is Harry Grant. Thank you, Nico. Was change made by Craig Bellamy. About 22 minutes before Harry hits the field. We'll see what that means as far as the Melbourne Storm and the way they work their sets goes. Bronson Garlick, though, remains on the field. So Grant into dummy half, you'd imagine. Garlick sliding back into a lock forward role as the Storm muscle up here. The Knights being driven backwards a long way there as Gagai was manhandled. Now Leo Thompson gets them going in the right direction.
And that's a big thing they got too, the Melbourne Storm. Bigger sofa. I think it'll be long before he comes on. Been a little bit of room down the middle. I'm sure he'll make an impact when he comes.
Here's Frizzell coming in off the right-hand side, looking to help out in the middle of the field. There is Nelson Asafa Solomona. It's Cogger. Looks across the field diagonally. It comes towards Farlongo, who links up with Anderson. Little step. Saifidi was pushing through the middle of the field there and comes away clutching at a shoulder or a pec muscle. That reaching motion there. We'll see how he is. This time he makes a tackle and has to carry the ball. There he is. Wraps up Nick Meaney. And Melbourne midway through this set, back in good field position. Wishart scouting out wide. Wrapped up there by Frizzell. Harry Grant. Comes across here through Loiero and now Hughes. Farlongo. One-man advantage there for a moment until jamming in. Great work by Greg Margiu. That had to be made, that tackle. Hughes puts it up. Very deep was Tuwala, who won't get to the ball. Coates came off his shoulder Back to King, and then catching and kicking in motion was Hughes. Play on. Wishart goes wide. An awkward one here for Marju. And then did a couple of cracks at it to take it dead.
Yeah, gee, that was a nice kick across field too. A little bit of indecision on the ground there for the Melbourne Storm. Wishart gets a football, perfectly weighted. Marju has to play at it. And this is what they do, and they do well. Start to mount pressure. Hughes just try to grab kick the ball through. The ball goes back. Here's Marju trying to clean up at the back. Melbourne love mounting pressure. Here they go.
Hastings going short. It breaks the plane, but bounces up to be taken by Katoa. He'll play it here just inside the 10. Now King runs at Hastings. It was an awkward one to handle for Melbourne. A little thrust of the forearm there from King towards Hastings. Newcastle hang on too long. 6 more plays. Garlick here in the middle of the field, playing it for Grant. Liero now running towards Crossland. More pressure on the Knights with plenty of tackles here for the Storm. Grant goes short. Blore, they were waiting on him. Dumps it out the back. Grant slipping. Passes to Hughes. He wants somebody to go underneath. Just take a carry towards the upright, so they'll get themselves organised on both sides of the field. So Katoa will play it there. Grant. One way, then the other. Comes back to King, another offload. They're keen to offload here inside the 20. Katoa just taking them on. Went through the tackle of Crossland. They'll stop him about 3 metres out. 2 left in this set. Hughes shifts it on. Wishart, another set restart here. Blore taken down. Newcastle is giving away set restart after set restart inside their own 20. Grant for Hughes. Here's Farlongo. Skip. Thrusts the ball out in front of him. Nobody falling for any fakes or dummies there. They've got tackles once again up their sleeve. Hughes. Liero. Wishart on the inside for Remus Smith, who runs towards Brodie Jones. Shrugs away from him. We'll play it quickly. Well, he was sideways. It'll be a penalty against the Newcastle Knights.
I'll tell you what, they've only got one more warning to go now. The Newcastle Knights will be seeing a sin binning. Just all over him there. Cogger just pushed him to the side. Remus Smith it was. Can't afford to give away any more. Well, otherwise there'll be a man down.
Well, 6-all. Melbourne are going to back themselves and go for 4, if not 6 points. Good chance to make it a 2-point game. And keep the pressure here on Newcastle. It feels as though they're wearing them down. Certainly getting plenty of possession. And all these set restarts at this end of the field. King will play it for Grant. Mr. Hughes, flat pass there for Meany. Good ball, equally good defence. The inside there, working hard with Hastings, was Lucas and also Jones. Short side, little crash play here from Grant to Katoa.
Well read there by Hastings. He knew what play was coming there.
Long ball for Grant. Hughes to Gallop. Liero out the back, knocked on by Wishart, but Newcastle here up inside the 10 on their own line, and I think we're about to get the official warning.
Right? And a couple in the ruck. If it doesn't tidy up, you know where we're going.
Set restarts and penalties, and something has to happen eventually.
They can't possibly hang on, can they? Newcastle got all the football the last 5 minutes.
And again, Melbourne ignore the chance to go for 2 points to take the lead. Almost a guaranteed 2 points. And here's Wishart. Grant now. Liero taking it towards Crossland, and also Hetherington. The ball comes free, and the Knights have held on.
Oh, that's great stuff from the Newcastle Knights. They've taken it personally. They didn't take the 2 points, kept trying to put the pressure on, and they've forced the error. Well done.
Big reaction from them as well after they maintained that defensive stand and helped keep Melbourne out, who twice had the chance. Boy, there it was. Driving in was, who was that using the head to knock the ball free?
10 seconds.
Is that Jacob Gagai? Or rather Dane Gagai?
Probably was. He comes up with plenty of big plays. Look at that possession in the last 5 minutes. Well done, Newcastle. We wanted them to have a big defensive display here this afternoon after last week, and we've seen it right there.
Work it away through Marju. Back to the 40. Lashing out there. Garlic caught on the ground behind the ruck. Almost got hit with a boot. Now Melbourne pinged for hanging on too long, and Newcastle will get their own chance to apply some pressure here and try to take the lead. They are 10 minutes out from half-time, and a vastly different performance to what they showed against the Bulldogs only a week ago.
Yeah, it's been gutsy, hasn't it? You know, we've pinpointed Crossland with his defence. Also, Tyson Brazil on the right-hand side defensively got up and he's put pressure on this Melbourne Storm attack. And now it's their opportunity. The modern-day player, they can just turn defence into attack. Let's see what they've got, Newcastle.
It's Pierce Paul who runs towards Hughes. This is more like the Knights that reeled off 4 straight wins. Terrible effort against the Dogs. So Hetherington here playing it for Crossland. Goes to Hastings and now Colga. Sharp, great move there for the line. He scores on debut. Fletcher Sharp, the 20-year-old rookie. He gives Newcastle the lead here in Melbourne.
Well, they're here to play, aren't they? What a great try there, the Sharp. He only think about a little while ago in the first half that he could have scored. Could have been a double.
Watch this as the ball comes to him. He has the presence of mind to just weave in field. Very hard to do while the pass is coming to him, to put him in between defenders. Cogger, there he is. That little step off the right foot before the ball came to him. That's the play of somebody who's played 100 NRL games.
No, it's fantastic to watch too. I mentioned it, that's their third string fullback. The young fella gets an opportunity here this afternoon. That could have been his second. Beautifully positioned. It was Cogger that got him the football. And the Newcastle Knights, after being under the pump, this is a different team this afternoon. Under the pump up the other end. Have gone the length of the field, and Sharp gets a debut try. Well done. A bit of pickle juice to match.
Well, the magic mullet. They know something about mullets here in Melbourne. They've got a fullback of their own by the name of Ryan Pappenhausen, who's produced plays like that time and time again. Kalen Ponga. He's had a mullet or two over the course of his career, but that was something pretty special there from Fletcher Sharp, from Cessnock, with his parents, Bernie and Sue, here watching on. And what a moment for the Sharp family. Hastings. They denied Melbourne at the other end of the field. Set after set, the Knights get a penalty, come down the field, and the rookie scores. Congratulations, Fletcher Sharp.
What a moment for him, Warren, on debut, replacing David Armstrong, who succumbed to that quad issue. Fletcher Sharp, as you mentioned, a Cessnock Goannas Jr., and he's progressed through the ranks at the Newcastle Knights. He won back-to-back SG Ball Player Awards the past couple of years. He's only just been promoted to the Knights top 30 this season. What a way to mark your debut.
Incredible moment here in the NRL after David Armstrong, on debut back in round 8, also scored in his first appearance in the NRL. Just a couple of young fullbacks. Really got some talent in Newcastle. Armstrong just extending his time. He'll be in Newcastle not until the end of 2026. The Roosters were chasing him hard. He's a very handy prospect, as quite obviously is Fletcher Sharp. They are flush for fullback options.
Yeah, and they're pretty lucky. They've got Kalen Ponga, just pass it on. All his experience, I would say, up there, sharing everything he knows about the fullback play. Got plenty of depth now.
Here's Frizzell. Runs towards Wishart. Last play for the Knights as Cogger will kick towards the corner. Longo heads back infield to take it away from that sideline there. Beats the tackle of Jones. Gets up to go again. He's only a lightweight, but boy, there is so much ticker. And Suafar longer. If you ask Craig Bellamy right now what he'd say about the call, whether it was his call to say no, will ignore the chance for the 2 points twice. Instead go for 4. Newcastle now with the lead as Anderson puts a kick in field. Grant on the chase, getting there to win the day though is Jack Cogger, who will work it away for the Knights. A lovely kick by Anderson.
Gee, it's a great play there by Cogger too. It's easy to drop off on that play when they're going down that right-hand side to kick in field. Cogger come from the other side of the field to get the ball. Looked like Harry Grant was in front there. Now, that's a big play. Get yourself to put yourself in that position. Covered a lot of ground to get that ball back.
Now Elliott for Hastings. There's some width here. He's weaving again. Fletcher Sharp taking the ground there by Jerome Hughes. Pushing up on the left-hand side. He's over on the right-hand side to score. Hastings to the corner. Farlongo again. Make it back beyond the 20. He runs towards the tackle there of Gagai, who takes him down. They'll begin here. 22 out from their own line. Oh, slowly back to his feet. In fact, he slumps back to his haunches here, pounding the ground. Sua Farlongo. Not sure if he's hurt that right arm and or shoulder, or there's something else. The left shoulder, perhaps. Got an issue, though. Here is Meany. Will play it. He was just trying to get a bit of feeling back into that arm, the way he was just banging the hand on the ground there, trying to get some feeling back through that left arm. Grant comes to Hughes back on the inside. Wishart has been perched on the left-hand side almost exclusively, and as far to the right edge as he's ventured so far. Now Hughes with the kick. Sharp is back pedaling to give himself a running start, and it does well. And welcome to first grade, because the sun disappears when you're tackled by Nelson Asipa Solomona.
Hey, what about that? It's straight to his feet too, but Sharp, well done. He was Soffit trying to make his presence felt. Leaves the ground Sharp. Look at that whack over the top.
Are they making that big an SG ball or jersey flag?
I don't think so.
It's a big step up, isn't it?
You can get 3 out of it in an SG ball like that.
Here is Gagai now looking for support back on the inside. He knew he was in trouble, and they take him into touch.
It was big. It was a big tackle there from Remus Smith. He's been beaten a couple of times. Had to come up with a big play here. Just kept alive. You don't see Gagai making errors like that. Good defence there from Melbourne. Well done from Smith.
32, hurry. Play the ball.
Like their chances down that right-hand side. Adam O'Brien looking a bit more comfortable than he was, certainly, as he watched on against the Bulldogs last week. It was a tough one to sit through, especially given what they'd done in the month before that, as they dragged themselves back to having a winning record at 6 wins and 5 losses at that stage. Now Melbourne, as we approach half-time, we're all playing it. Now Wishart, Liero, little dummy there, nobody falling for it. Pierce Paul in particular, but he ended up in an awkward situation. Liero resented the way he ended up going into the ground, certainly on his upper back with his legs akimbo.
Can you just take it to him?
It happened so fast, just get tipped straight away. Penalty sufficient. Probably put on report, but once you lose your legs there, just flip him over.
It's great contact, and then spinning in the tackle there, Liero flipped him. It looked a bit more spectacular than it was in the end, and it would be a tough one here if he was sent to the sin bin. You'd imagine just placed on report only. Let the match review committee take a look at that. But
well, the thing is, he let go. He just flipped him as soon as he got him in the air. Flipped him over. Play on.
So, very quick review by the bunker. Could have easily hit the button and said, sent him to the sin bin, but that's certainly no more than penalty right there. Here's Christian Welch.
Done all the hard work. They've got to hang on now just before half-time. The Newcastle Knights' defence has been outstanding.
Hughes, short ball. Hastings under pressure there from Katoa, who will take it to ground just inside the 10. Melbourne will tackle still here. Asima Solomona, it almost bounced away from him, and then he almost bounced off several defenders. They wrap him up on top of the line. Grant, out the back is Hughes, Wishart, Smith. Steps back on the inside there away from Gagai. They'll play it quickly. Wishart, they get 6 more tackles here for the markers not being squared. It's Frizzell. He was there, and now Welsh drops it out the back. Grant spins it. Good hands by Wishart there, boy. And now Smith playing. Comes back through Liero. Hughes, Barlonga, he pops it. He got levelled by Greg Marju. There might be an issue here. Farlongo stays on the ground out the back for the moment. It's play on, but we'll come back to that. Hughes. He finds Liero. There are 3 plays remaining in this set. Asima Solomona trying to crash his way in, pops it out the back. Grant, Hughes, they score! Plows his way in under the black dots. Melbourne hit back. It'll be locked up at 12 apiece in just a moment, but there's more to look at beyond the try.
Yeah, I reckon they'll be having a look at that. Asima Solomona, that shows his worth, just bounces out of a couple of tackles. Here's the replay. Marju comes in, blindsides. Oh, gee, I think hit him on the chin. If it does, it's a send-off, but no, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. You've got to dig into the line like that. A lot of times it's going to happen. Here's Bigger Sofa. The flick pass out the back. Harry Grant, Hughes on the ball. They can't hang on. Melbourne Storm hit back. That's the damage of this big man. Have a look at the jumbers around Bigger Sofa there. 4 blokes in the tackle. The flick out the back. Harry Grant, the catch and pass. And just like that, the Melbourne Storm were in. They'll level the scores.
90 seconds before half-time as well. Meany from right in front to level things up, and we are set for a cracking second half here. Melbourne coming into the game in second on the ladder, 8 wins, 3 losses. Penrith to play, they're up next. They'll take on the Sea Eagles. Here's the scoreline. To have both coaches pleased with what they've seen from their teams in attack. Newcastle have been so game defensively inside their own 20, but again the set restarts really hurting them.
Yeah, and hurts them too with that big man able to stand in the tackle and offload the football. Harry Grant did so well, didn't try to change the point of a tackle run, got the ball straight to the edge to use. They knew exactly what they were doing there. It's a little bit unfortunate for Newcastle. They played so well in the first half. Got to let that one go. Get out and have the same sort of effort in the second half.
Time for maybe one more play here before the halftime siren. Try and put something on. Little short side raid. You bet they are. Hughes comes across to Anderson. They caught the Knights out. Another kick by Anderson. Here's the race. Marju on the treadmill. Picked up by Meany. A Melbourne Storm special on the stroke of halftime. They weren't going to die wondering. They put it through the hands down the short side, and the kick from Anderson was pinpoint perfect.
And it's all Hughes again, just a short side raid. He saw the numbers there, they were backpedaling, caught on the wing there, Hastings. Look at that, full pelt, beautiful kick in field by Hughes. Look at the chase from Harry Grant. Marju slips over. First to the football, Meany, back-to-back tries there to finish the first half from the Melbourne Storm. That is so difficult to do, I could imagine. At full tilt, perfectly weighted kick. Look at the chases from the Melbourne Storm. Hetherington can't make the tackle. Melbourne score right on the stroke of half-time. They didn't think we'll play the last 21 seconds out. We saw the short side open, and Hughes goes for it.
You just knew there was something brewing for Melbourne. They had one play, why not have a crack from deep inside their own end? And Newcastle caught out on the short side there defensively. Marju had the lead in the race, but boy, they swamped him. And now Meany The try scorer with all the speed that he has, who just blew the doors off Greg Marju. To convert his own try, and they score potentially. And he can kick this goal, which he does. 12 points in 90 seconds. It's tough to win against the Storm in Melbourne.
Yeah, certainly. You just put it down to Hughes. He just saw that the short side, and they had the numbers. Brilliant play. Just watching it there, you could see him calling the football down that short side. They probably got an overcall there, and brilliantly finished. Melbourne Storm, what a finish to the first half after a great effort from Newcastle Knights. Be game on in the second half.
It was an incredible finish for that first half. Hughes scored, Meany scored, Dylan Lucas, he scored for the Newcastle Knights to get their scoring underway, to drag them back at 6 points all. And certainly plenty of carries with the ball. He's a strong, bustling centre, but will be under pressure again from Nick Meany in the second half, while Jerome Hughes, well, his try when he set off a chain of events just before the break.
Yeah, and they just show how well coached they are too, and the organisation of Hughes, just the awareness in the last 20 seconds. If you drop off one set against the Melbourne Storm, as we saw just before half-time, that's what they can do to you. Big half here now for Newcastle. Would have taken a lot of petrol out of them, had to do a lot of defence in the first half. And there's an error early.
Nelson Asava-Solomona coming off the back fence there, taken low by Brodie Jones and coughed it up. There are no complaints from Melbourne, no thought of the captain's challenge. Look at that face on Asava-Solomona, but there's the ball coming free.
It's good defence on the big man too. Just up under the ball there. Jones made a statement early. First mistake from Melbourne. Perfect position under the post in the middle of the field. The coach is just getting back to the box. Look at bellyache. He'd be filthy.
Welcome to the second half, Craig.
Phoenix, come on, arms around, head in. Hold the weight there. Break!
Chance for Newcastle to make amends for conceding the 12 points just before half-time. Here's Asava-Solomona trying to monster Gagai there. Should have been a set restart for the Newcastle Knights as he spun on top of the tackled player. There's play on here. Now Elliott fighting away from Harry Grant. Cogger, Hastings, short ball. Pearce-Paul keeps it going. Lucas! Newcastle hit back. It took barely seconds into this second half. They get the mistake on play one from Asava-Solomona, and then great hands on this left-hand side from Kai Pearce-Paul to Dylan Lucas.
Yeah, the Harvey Norman replay. I've been waiting for it. He's had his arm free since the season started. Pearce-Paul got a wonderful right arm offload. Look at that, gets in between two players. That is a brilliant play. Straight on the spot there. Dylan Lucas goes in for number 2. But we've been waiting for this Englishman to show his skills. Look at that, in between two players. Great offload. Nearly hit the ground. What a start after a mistake from Melbourne Storm. They're straight back into it, the Newcastle Knights. And look at that for a bit of ball-playing skill. Great to see.
If the acid reflux was rising for Craig Bellamy as he entered the coach's box, he'll need a pallet load of Gaviscon after seeing what happened off the back of the mistake from big Nelson Asava-Solomona. Great hands on the edge from Lucas, playing in the centres today. Better known as an edge forward in 2024 for Adam O'Brien, whose own levels of reflux might be a little bit better now, having seen his team do that. We've had 3 tries as far as game time is concerned. 3 tries in 3 minutes.
It's great to see the fight back there from the Newcastle Knights, not only just to score that try to start the second half, but after what they went through last week, 32 points to 2. They didn't even bother the scoreboard attendant apart from a goal kick. And Hastings with the conversion will get them right back into it. What a game we've got on our hands.
Trying to bend it back here. A little fade, that doesn't help. Stays a 2-point lead for the Melbourne Storm at 18-16. 3 minutes into this second half. Lucas scored off a loose ball from the Melbourne Storm. Hastings swooped, linked up with Lucas. He won the race to the line there against Nick Meany, and then this one just seconds into the second half. Good ball by Hastings, even better ball from Kai Pearce-Paul, the Englishman.
Yeah, great to watch those sort of skills too. We've been waiting for it to happen. Well, I have anyway. You can see him trying to get that arm free all season. That time it happens for him. Gets the Newcastle Knights right back in the game. What a play.
Strong defence here by the Melbourne Storm. Brodie Jones smiling. He was carried backwards towards his own line. Hetherington, play number 2. We go downstairs to Nico Paharulia.
Well, Adam O'Brien would be overjoyed with that commencement to the second half, Warren. He wanted more discipline in defence from the Knights, but happy overall with their attack. As for Craig Bellamy, he wants his team to stay patient and organised. I also asked the Storm about Su'A-Fa'alogo. We saw him perhaps trying to jolt some movement into that left arm in the first half. The Storm have told me he simply got stung in a tackle. He's fine to carry on, so nothing serious to worry about with Su'a.
So absorbed that big impact from Greg Marju, who jammed in just before half-time as well. Cogger here from inside the 40. Some trouble the sideline. It's Xavier Coates who will bring it back. Taken down there in the middle of the field by Adam Elliott. So, rapid-fire recommencement here. First of 2 games on the Sunday ticket. Panthers and the Sea Eagles, they are coming up next from the foot of the mountains in the western suburbs of Sydney. Wishart standing on the nose earlier in the game. That blood flow has been stemmed. And here is Welsh, who takes it on a good carry, looking to put the ball out the back. He had it poised there. Harry Grant, who was thereabouts. Now Hughes back on the inside. Liero beat the tackle of Crossland. What a ball from Hughes. Last tackle, Grant comes to Hughes again. The chips out wide. A chance up against Marju. Anderson had a crack at it, but it was Marju who wins that battle.
Yeah, that was a nice take, wasn't it? He was under all sorts of pressure. Some tough runs needed now. Hemmed in their corner again. Puts his hand up there. And a great charge there by Dylan Lucas to start that set.
That was a really nice transition. With the change of possession there by Newcastle, Lucas got their back there quickly to take that carry and then get them out of trouble. Jaden Brayley coming off the bench today. Still haven't seen him on the field, but his presence out there might be not too far away.
You know what? I'd probably leave Crossland out there, move him the lock and take Elliott off. He's had a big impact defensively with the speed of the line there. Have them both out there.
Here's Fa'alogo, who runs to Frizzell, beats him, gives it away to Coates. Taken to ground, coming across, it was Gagai who makes the tackle. The speed of Fa'alogo puts Melbourne on the attack. Asada Solomona looking for an offload. Eventually Jones and Crossland wrap him up, but they're only 30 metres out. Grant, Liero has been good through the middle. Hughes over the top, away to Anderson, up against Marju again. Marju took him out of play after the kick. This might be a professional foul.
To me, it's just a penalty for an escort off the ball.
An escort, he's knocked him off the ball. He's knocked him over the sideline. He's just put the kick in. It's a professional foul for sure.
Lucas was thereabouts. It was always going to win the race for the ball, but you could have easily construed that to be a professional foul and having Marju sent to the bin for 10. We'll stay 13 on 13. Harry Grant is taking it back a couple of metres. They'll begin 10 out. 10 in from touch. It's Meany. Now for Welch. Towards the uprights, bumps into them, finds the ground quickly, looking for a quick play the ball, but called surrender. Correctly so. Asada Solomona. Another quick play the ball here. Grant, Liero. Hastings saw he was coming and got up quickly in his face. Couldn't stop him, but did enough for Hetherington to do the rest. Midway through this set, Grant for Wishart takes them on himself and just beats them as simply as that. A mistake by Newcastle on their own line after they've been so good for the better part of this game inside their own 20. They give away possession and Wishart throws a dummy and walks his way in.
Yeah, just a little bit slow off the line that time, the Newcastle Knights. Great to see Wishart back himself. Look at the reverse there, getting back on the line, ready to come up. Second man play. A little jink off the left foot. Crossland misses the tackle. Frizzell misses. Wishart with a little bit of explosive speed straight through. He'll put Melbourne Storm in front. Look at that, nice little footwork as he caught the ball. Crossland, Frizzell, great camera work. Stretches out the score.
It's been fairly alarming for the Newcastle Knights and Adam O'Brien, their coach. The points they've conceded off the back of either set restarts or penalties here today. They can't defend the penalty given away by Marju. He took no chances by knocking Anderson to the ground following the kick. And the speed of the play the balls as well was a real factor in the build-up for the try by Wishart. Many pushes. Melbourne out once again to an 8-point lead here with half an hour remaining.
Some great footwork there from Tyron Wishart. He is Mr. Everywhere for the Storm in his 40 NRL games. He started at fullback, at halfback, at 5'8". He's got the number 6 jersey while Cameron Munster is out, and he said in the lead up to this game, while he enjoys his role off the bench for Melbourne, he says the stability of knowing he's starting in the halves makes his preparation a lot easier, and a try today will do his confidence in the halves a world of good.
That it will. His dad played plenty of State of Origin Rugby League, and don't forget, Game 2 kicks off on Wednesday in Melbourne, right here in the Victorian capital, June 26th. You can secure your seats today by heading to nrl.com/tickets. Origin 2 in Melbourne once again. Law here will play it just outside the Storm 10. Welsh brings it back midfield. 3-man tackle takes him to ground. Brayley is out there, and as you suggested, Blocker, Crossland staying on the field. Now on that lock forward role.
Yeah, it's good you couldn't take him off. Just works himself to a standstill. Harry Grant going for it.
Inside the 40, good kick as well. Fletcher realised that and he came across to cut that off and brings it back. Rookie fullback Fletcher Sharp, who scored on debut in the first half. A lovely piece of attacking football. And Tuana will play it here. Really hard at the moment, the 20-year-old from Cessnock. Running for a chance in attack once again. For the moment, they'll work it away. Some slow play the balls here. Melbourne doing what they do so effectively, controlling the ruck. Frizzell on his feet, pops a ball out the back. The pass came though after the call of held, so come back to Frizzell. Play 5 is underneath from Crossland on that left-hand side. They work it forward through Jones. Here is the last. It's Hastings trying to put Farlongo under pressure, coming forward. A little bobble there, right there on his hammer as he made the catch, but he held on to it. Now Anderson skipping away from the advancing Phoenix Crossland. Melbourne just outside their 20. Back in control with an 8-point lead.
We'll watch them grind away now. And the service from Harry Grant from dummy half has made all the difference. We mentioned the quick play the balls, but a nice ball straight from the ground from Harry. Great service. He's made an enormous difference, as is a sulphur, apart from the first error of the second half.
Here is Welsh, pops a ball out the back, comes to Harry Grant, ends up piece of play there, puts a kick in. They didn't realise though it was coming on that right-hand side. Fletcher Sharp slipping over. Need to get to ground there for fear of being driven back into the in goal. Hastings out of dummy half, passed down the short side. Now they're wedged into the corner here. Might be some tough carries coming up for the Newcastle Knights. Marju puts his hand up. Barely gains a couple of metres. They've used up 3 and he's been hurt. Onto the ribs there, on his haunches after playing it. Here's tackle number 4. They're still inside their own 20. A lot of discomfort out there behind the play, the left winger. Last tackle coming up, Hetherington. Plays it there for Brayley, and now Cogger with the kick. Go down the middle of the field. Oh, an awkward one for Anderson. Did well in the end to play it off the knee. Now Farlongo stepping past Hastings. Boy, he's hard to handle.
Yeah, that's what they try and do to you, the Melbourne Storm.
Oh, now he's been hurt.
Just try and grind away.
It's nothing more than a cramp. On the scene, the Melbourne trainer out there with the pickle juice.
Hughes wants to get on with the game too. He said, let's play it over here. We'll leave our little mate on the ground, get some attention.
Long way to go in this game with cramps affecting Farlongo. Some 27.5 minutes remaining. He's still out the back, looking up at the sky at the moment. As Katoa will play it. They go on the attack again, Melbourne. Grant. For Hughes, then Wishart. Here is Blore, taken down, almost taken down by Crossland. Long right-hand side, but they come down the short side. Wishart taking on Frizzell, trying to sweep the leg there and take him to ground. Melbourne have one more. Grant looking over his right shoulder, but he was fooling. Takes them on himself, puts a grubber in. Sharp has to take it dead. What a clever piece of play by Harry Grant.
Well, you've got to be so alert when he's in dummy half, Harry Grant. Oh, he's got a great passing game, a little grubber kick in time this time. Got great awareness, brings you onto the ball really well. One of the superstars of our game. And forces a line drop out.
10 seconds.
Hastings went short in the first half. And will go short again. More height on this one. Real contest. Great catch, though, made by Eli Katoa. Leaning away to dummy half. See if they can hang on here. They struggle to defend repeat sets either side of half-time, the Knights. Grant. Short ball there from dummy half to Welsh. Taken down by Jones. Grant again. They just pound them from short. Joe Chan there. Going close, fresh on the field for the Melbourne Storm. Short side again. Wishart. Cut out ball. He's a specialist. Not quite as dramatic or spectacular as he's tried here earlier in the season. But he puts it down, Xavier Coates. Adds another one to his tally and extends this lead now to a big margin for Melbourne.
No, they're a good side, aren't they? Just a couple of crash plays right next to the ruck, and then Tyrone Wishart with the cutout ball. Just enjoy this one. What a finisher he is. Not as spectacular as we saw the other week. What about that? With centimetres in it. What a finisher he is. Great play. They just shorten the lineup by a couple of big runners right next to the ruck, and then they shift. Just didn't have the numbers there. Coach scores again for Melbourne.
Oh, he's unbelievable. Those legs still a long way from the ground when he plants the ball down, and he's got that down pat, hasn't he? On the same blade of grass where he scored the try of tries. It'll be the try of the season. You can put that one to bed right now, and he goes straight to the pickle juice just to make sure those calves won't be cramping up.
A couple of zippers in the mouth too. A couple of stitches. Finishes off there. A little bit of blood in the first half. And that's what they do. They just tighten the screws. They started so well in the second half after a mistake. Newcastle got the first try, but Melbourne is so good when they get a lot of football. It'll be a telling tale at the back end of the game, I would say. They had to do a lot of defence on their own goal line, Newcastle. And they're starting to stretch the lead now.
Every time Melbourne get a repeat set, they are scoring either side of half-time. After the Newcastle Knights were very good to begin the game inside their own 20. Adam O'Brien with problems on his hands, Nico.
He certainly does, but an amazing finish here, Warren, from Xavier Coates, the reigning Melbourne Storm Player of the Year, coming off a terrific Origin game in which he scored a great try off that kick from Daly Cherry Evans. He also pulled off that miraculous 40-20 save on Wednesday night, so he's in great form. 8 tries in 10 games this season. And guys, don't forget, 2:30 a.m. the Formula One Canadian Grand Prix. Daniel Ricciardo responding to the critics. P5 in qualifying earlier this morning. Don't miss the race tonight right here on Fox Sports.
It's going to be an absolute beauty. 0.2 of a second between Pole and Ricciardo in 5th after he was given the bake of bakes by former world champion Jacques Villeneuve, who said he didn't really deserve his place in F1. Here is Farlongo. See if Danny Rick can respond behind the wheel in Montreal. Grant, his left-hand side, comes away to Joe Chan. 28 points to 16. 2 converted tries, the difference. Newcastle Knights have got some points in them. Arrow there thought he might have been pinged running behind the decoy of Christian Welch, but the referee was happy that it was all okay. Hughes' kick. Go down here to Sharp under pressure from Couture. That's a terrific catch on debut.
Well, especially when their man's running down like that. Just didn't take his eyes off the ball and take the football there. Good chase by Ball, straight through, but it's good play. He's been put under plenty of pressure here this afternoon. He's played pretty well.
Matt Croker out there now for the Newcastle Knights. Last forward to come off the bench. Newcastle here today. Saifidi back on field, fending away from Christian Welch. Hastings, best contact he's ever produced. Shallowish kick. Farlongo feigns to throw a dummy himself, and he puts on a step that John Travolta would have been proud of in Saturday Night Fever.
He's pretty groovy, isn't he?
Such an exciting young player. Here is a chance for Nick Meaney on that right-hand side of the field. How do we produce some young fullbacks at the end of last season or early here in 2024? Can we reel them off? And Farlongo was there with the best of them. And now Grant. He'll kick towards the corner and he'll sit down as well. A little bit of backspin. That was well done. And now Grant wraps up Fletcher Sharp a couple of metres out from the line. Newcastle, big 5 to 10 minutes coming up here. It could go either way for them. If they can't match Melbourne, they set-for-set situations. Melbourne slowly just close the grip. They'll never escape. They're like a boa constrictor in purple.
And in the back of their minds too, they can go on the top of the premiership here if they win here this afternoon. So a big incentive for them. There's some good front on defence. Newcastle doing it tough now. Only been down their half once after we saw Bigasofa lose the football and they were able to score, but field position's all been their way to the Melbourne Storm.
This set begins about 15 short of the halfway line. Farlongo has some confidence there. Kick return to come out to the left-hand side as Coates. Play it here for Harry Grant. Got just over 20 minutes remaining in this game. Panthers and Seagulls coming up next right here on the Sunday ticket. Good contact from Pierce Paul there on King as Wishart goes to Hughes. Farlongo is pushing up inside. They went outside. It's Anderson back to Wishart, who scores again for Melbourne. Oh, what hands down that right-hand side. Everybody playing their role, and it was beautiful to watch.
Yeah, the great thing about it, they all push up around the ball. Hastings involved in a little bit of melee there with the smallest bloke on the field, I might add. Farlongo. But look at that, just the way they all react to the short side raid. With a little bit of a hint of the forward pass on the last pass there, back on the inside to Wishart, but watch them all load up here. Reverse of play, numbers at the line. This one's I'm a little bit worried about, but anyway, let's play on. Ooh. What do you think, mate? Touch it.
Had a suggestion of being slightly forward out of the hands, watching it live, waiting for a call from the referee, which never eventuated. We won't get the definitive angle. They are at speed. Players running at around about 30 kilometres per hour In this situation here with Anderson pouring down the sideline. Drift on the ball as a result. It was touch and go, but in line with it, the referee said all good, and Wishart has his second 4-pointer of the game. Try confirm. They can't rule on forward passes, so they're just checking all the lead runners and making sure there was no obstruction there. And it was just clinical at their best.
Yeah, they're very good at changing the point of attack, aren't they? Looked like they were coming out the open side, switch back, numbers at the line. They knew exactly what they were doing. A set play there for Melbourne. They all got on board. Great support. Wishart in again. It's what they do to you. They're starting to click over the scoreboard, don't they, the Melbourne team? You had a look at it. Newcastle got themselves back into the game early in the half. Here they go again.
Leany's attempt comes off the left upright. He banks one in for 2. It is a massive lead right now. 34 points to 16. Pass there from Meaney. That was touch and go also, and then this one. You can't look at it being delivered before the line and then being received after the line, because the ball is travelling forward with momentum. If the player's doing 30 kilometres per hour, so is the ball. The ball's travelling at 30 kilometres per hour while he passes it, and will have forward momentum, but it's whether it comes backwards out of the hands. You can be the judge at home. The Storm here, just outside the 10. Again, really racked up the points here. And now Couture, as Harry Grant looks up from dummy half. What a luxury it was to have Grant coming off the bench here. With Bronson Garlick starting the game today for Craig Bellamy, making his first appearance for the season. Aero played this middle role very well. The coach today. Now Hughes bouncing back to his feet, leaving a stricken Knights defender in his wake. Comes back to King. Yeah, 35 metres out. Hughes putting up an attacking kick. Sharp underneath it. Wishart called out of it. He was certainly in front of the kicker and did the right thing there, or he would have given away a penalty. And Sharp is tackled 10 metres out in front of his own uprights, and the Knights trying to figure out how they get themselves back into this game.
Well, the big thing is, firstly, they've got to get up the other end of the field. Just got to try and get a penalty. Because all this second half, they've been playing off their own line. They're bringing at it, turning the screws on. And that'll help.
You had 4 in there, Harry. You had 4 guys in there.
Go to the sideline. They'll begin there. They need a response, and very quickly. Only 17 minutes remaining. Here's the man who's grabbed 2 tries today. Dylan Lucas, player just into Melbourne territory. So Melbourne Storm there trying to slow down the play the ball. 3 here involved in the tackle. Peel off one by one, and now as Hastings goes to the line, gives it to Cogger. Frizzell back on the angle. Well read though by King and also Eli Couture. Midway through the set. Goes through the hands there. Here is a chance for Fletcher Sharp to get himself involved. Comes back to Thompson, who fires a long ball. There's a ball for Tyson Frizzell back midfield. Gagai staying alive, got away there from Smith, still going, put a bump on Farlongo and is stopped centimetres short. What a carry. And then, well, surely they have to challenge that.
Well, you have to. Surely he's allowed to get to his feet and play the ball. They're all over him, Melbourne defenders.
Well, they will challenge. It won't be a surprise if they don't win this challenge.
It's a professional foul. He's trying to get to his feet to play the ball. Good run again by Gagai. Remus Smith a little bit of a bath here this afternoon a couple of times. There's a hand on there.
Just having a look at the hand of Tui Kamakamika. The right hand goes back in towards the ball. This is ruck interference. The challenge is successful.
Penalty. Ruck interference.
Oh, let's go!
It's a tackle. You can take a bucket for it. It's a tackle.
So unsurprisingly, the Knights win the challenge. But they need to bank some points.
Allows the Melbourne Storm defensive line at stoppage in play to get set. Let's see what they can come up with now defensively.
Short ball. Frizzell, who was back behind the play, injured. Towards scoring, is back on his feet here. Oh boy, Brayley loses it backwards. Wrapped up there by Kamakamika. As Croker gets the dummy half. Oh, a horrendous pass
The other one you
there.
stood up and you played out. This one you're just reaching around. Breakdown play.
And again, it's Kamakamika who's pinged there for reaching around and trying to knock down the ball from marker. So Croker. He'll play it here, 5 metres out. Brayley to Hastings. Short one to Saifiti. Cogger on this right-hand side was pushing up, didn't get the chance to put on something for his outside men. And go to the left-hand side. Thompson as they bang it through the big boys. Only a metre out. Now Cogger gets a chance, tips it on. Gagai takes them on. He beats everybody. They had to be next to score, and they are. Dane Gagai plants it down for Newcastle to give themselves a chance.
Well, how many times do we see it? Gagai, important part of the game. They need something from him. The earlier break that he made, and he wants the ball. The good players want the football. Here's the earlier break on Remus Smith, a little bit of footwork. Unlucky not to score here. They ended up making the tackle, but he's reloaded after they've got that repeat set. Look at this for a bit of footwork. They just rush him. A little bit of a right foot step. Gagai is in for Newcastle.
A nice little tap on, wasn't it, by Jack Cogger. He realised there was a chance out wide, and given the success that Gagai has had against Remus Smith so far in this game, he liked his chances, and with good reason. Hastings with the conversion. He's got to kick them all, and does, but boy, only just. Cannon ones off the upright, as Meany had done previously. And importantly, that had to go in because it's a 2 converted try game at 34 to 22. Jamming in, Xavier Coates couldn't get there in time. Back on the angle, Gagai knew the path to the try line.
It's so good your experienced players want the football in their hands. It was Gagai that made the break just a little bit earlier. It was unfortunate not to score, but not this time. Gets them back, show a little bit of light, 13 and a half to go. Let's see if they can go back-to-back Newcastle.
Here is Fletcher Sharp. Makes the catch, leaves it off for Saifiti. After the second game today between the Panthers and the Seagulls, make sure you stick around for Sunday night with Matty Johns. Special guests talking of Knights, Kurt Gidley and Mark Hughes. As the build-up to Beanies for Brain Cancer round begins tonight, right here on Fox League. Sunday night with Matty Johns. Cogger here for Sharp, trying to get himself into the backfield. Taken down there by Wishart. Playing for Brayley. Here's Gagai again. Melbourne backpedaling. Newcastle picking up massive metres in this set after points. Still just 4 plays gone. Big ball for Crossland. Here is Hastings. He goes short. Here's Paul back on the angle. Still driving the legs. Only 10 metres out. Launching a real challenge, Newcastle. Hastings went to Lucas. Great tackle made by Jerome Hughes.
Gee, that was a grasser, wasn't it? Straight around the legs. Remus Smith injured. Looks like it's a head bin here. HIA.
What a powerful set of 6 by the Knights, which left Remus Smith on the ground back behind the play. There he is, and he's just run into the shoulder there of Jaden Brayley and concussed himself. It was a different looking one.
It's a great set. You wonder where that's been from Newcastle. Got plenty of fight in them here this afternoon. After being demolished last week by the Bulldogs, they've showed plenty of ticker. They've turned up for their coach.
Smith goes from the field and reshuffle there. Dane Gagai will have a new opponent to go against this near side of the field. See what the reshuffle is for the Melbourne Storm. Kamikamitha now just outside the 10. As Green comes to Hughes. What a tackle he made. Lucas hard to stop, looking for a hat trick. Cut him down.
What about Hughes getting on board there, taking a hit up the short side? Right off the ruck there off Harry Grant. Not his job, but just shows how much winning means to him. Been outstanding this afternoon.
And here he is with the kick. Goes down to Sharp. Still time for Newcastle here with 11.5 minutes almost remaining. But Sharp here will bring it back and play it just inside the 20. Now Tuama. Work it away from their own 30. Coming in for a carry is Dane Gagai. Brayley looking to the right-hand side. Will go out the other side instead as Crossland finds Saifidi. Back to the halfway line. Needing points. There'll be a spread coming here shortly. Here it is. Cogger comes across to Gagai. He runs towards the tackle there of Meany, who's come to the left-hand side of the field. Bronson Garlick is out there playing at right centre at the moment for the Melbourne Storm. Farlongo, he makes the catch. Oh, has he done a hamstring? Or is he faking?
Or he's just G'ing up, is he?
I think he's got a problem. There's going to be a penalty, though, for high contact. But did he do a hammy? Or was he? Oh, he's cramped again as he brought the ball back. You see him there react. When they stop like that, you're thinking hamstring.
Yeah, 100%. Thompson with a swinging arm over the top. A little bit of a crusher on the end of it.
Oh. Yes, indeed. Super Farlongo with the eyes like dinner plates there as he went, ooh, that's smarts.
He stayed out there, but
more pickle juice. It's magic stuff. Have you ever had a crack blocking?
no, cack. I don't think I'd like that. Pickle juice, not my GO.
Not even a midi?
No.
Sean Bloor, just outside the 40. They'll play the ball as Thompson took a chance of giving away a set restart there. And they've been punished for penalties at this end of the field and set restarts today. 4 plays 22. Here is Bloor. Taken the ground there by Frizzell was Hughes. Meany resented the contact. Even after the ball had been passed. Hughes, though, on his feet. Out there, kicking out wide. Anderson chasing through. Marju in a battle again. Up against Grant Anderson. And it's Marju who's taking no chances once more.
You're always under the pump playing against Melbourne, especially the scheming Hughes. Chip over the top again. Anderson deserves a try, but Marju there to stop it. The short kick off again. Restart.
Reaching for it, coming down with it. Great effort there by Kai Pearce-Paul against Eli Katoa. They both had a purchase on the ball, but it was Pearce-Paul who won the tug of war for the Steeden.
Yeah, just a little bit more desperate there that time. They need a bit of luck going their way. Saifidi trying to make a difference here with the flop back.
Elliott back on deck now, finds Hastings on this offload. Here's Lucas to Gagai, runs towards Meany. They realised that they needed somebody of speed to match Gagai, so Meany on this left-hand side. Crossland, Frizzell, slipping over, he comes to the tackle there of Bloor. They've used up 4. Now a shift back to the left-hand side. Elliott, right past to Saifidi. Hastings, Pearce-Paul, Lucas, up against the tackle there of Joe Chan, who's defending out wide in between Hughes and also Anderson. It's Hastings. He kicks towards the middle. Melbourne contest it. Yes, they will, and they give away 6 more tackles. It was Kamikamitha forced to try and make the catch.
Yeah, they'll play the first knockout there. Knock on. Newcastle will get the ball back. Kamikamitha there with the first one. No advantage there to Crossland. Newcastle a little bit of luck going their way here.
Newcastle, terrific chance here.
They'll have a great finish if they can score here and convert. They've been good every time they've got down this end now with an opportunity.
Craig Bellamy is on his bike. He can't believe the front rower was forced to try and catch the bomb. Gagai still going. Taken down by Farlongo. What a handful he's been today. Brayley comes to Thompson. Straightens as he runs towards Grant and also King. They give us a grandstand finish. Newcastle need to score here. Crossland, Hastings, here's Lucas again. Another good tackle, this one made by Joe Chan. We'll play it midway through the set. Hastings, Hetherington, Elliott it was. Crossland now. He comes out wide. Tuala steps back on the inside. Still going! Denied at the death by Farlongo. As he spun his way in, Tuala was about to plant it down.
Can you confirm it's a knock on over the goal line?
Well, that's what you need, a little bit of desperation at the back. It looked like he was going to score for all money. Marju.
Nari Tuala breaks the tackle.
Tuala it was there, sorry.
Just to see how the ball comes out.
Great tackle there for the young fella, Farlongo.
Or if there's a grounding.
You see Billy Slater do it so much when he was playing for the Melbourne Storm. Saving tries.
Nari Tuala loses
on,
possession
no try.
over the try line, forward into the Melbourne player. We have a decision. It'll be
Ruled a knock-on in goal by Nari Tuala. As opposed to possession coming back to Newcastle for the efforts there of Sua Farlongo.
Well, that was their chance, wasn't it? Was 6.5 to go. Would have been a great finish. They'd have been able to score there. Just wonder if they've got anything left.
Craig Bellamy's got anything left. He was agitated before Tuala got across the line. He was back in the seat at least. Just putting down the speed well for the moment. He was going to head out of the stadium and ride back to HQ. Comes to Hughes and now Kamikamitha. Just inside the 30. 75th minute of this game. They can put them away here with a try. Wishart. Stopped there by Crossland and also Elliott. Last tackle for Melbourne. Back to Hughes. He'll kick out wide. Coates is there. He will make the catch. Allowed to by Tuala, but they wrap him up. And the Knights 90 metres away from where they need to be, and time running out.
Yeah, here we go. Caution to the wind now from the Newcastle Knights. Who's it going to be? It'll be young Sharp will be the hero. Get himself involved here. The one out running won't help. They need to shift. Try and do something a little bit different in their own half here.
Margie coming across to Saifidi, who's out there, one inside the winger. All hands too for Newcastle here. Let's fill a gap. See what you can do. Thompson goes through a gap, steaming across the halfway line. Puts the shoulder into Farlongo. Hastings for Fletcher Sharp. Slips over. Taken to ground by Hughes. Just outside the 10. They go wide. Hastings, Marju, Pearce-Paul for the corner. Stopped there by Katoa. One more for the Knights. They pretty much have to score. Hastings with a kick. Taken by Meany. It comes free. Crossland ends up with it.
6 again.
And it's 6 more tackles. What a chance for the Knights. Crossland end up in an awkward position there with his leg extended. Hastings kicking on play number 1. Tuala scores! A brilliant play by Jackson Hastings. And here come the Knights.
Yeah, well done there by Hastings. That's a brilliant play. Heads up straight away. The crossfield kick to Tuala, who was denied only a few minutes ago. And here's the break straight through the middle. Thompson tries to dip the shoulder here on the fullback. Bang! Over the top of him he goes. Good support play. Sharp right on the ball. The quick play the ball. They go out the right-hand side. And he sums it up. 6 again. Heads up play. No nerves there from Hastings early in the tackle count. Great pickup. Tremendous skill. And right there, they'll rush the kick a goal here.
Well, they have to kick the goal because they trail by 8. And he needs to take enough time, as good a strike on it as he possibly can. 3.5 remaining. You'd imagine it has to go. Strike is a good one. Jackson Hastings standing tall and delivering.
Yeah, when the pressure's on, you want your halves really to try and take control. Look at the pickup there from Hastings. Saw that the Melbourne Storm line was up, the little chip over the top. Perfectly weighted. Coach caught in field. And the Knights give themselves a chance. High-scoring game.
Craig is back for the moment. No, maybe not. Maybe he's seen enough. It looks like that's it for the coach and everybody smiling somewhat sheepishly. Cam Munster sees himself on the big screen. He's not going to smile, just in case the coach sees that during the video review. Oh, boy. It's that kind of afternoon here in Melbourne. Here are Newcastle, coming at them hard at the end. 3 remaining, 34 plays, 28. High-scoring affair. Lucas to play it. Grant trying to slow him down. Here's Saifiti. He's away like Thompson was just a moment ago. The front rowers pounding their way through the Melbourne defence. 3 tackles gone. Crossland, Frizzell showing it to Sharp. He'll take the tackle here. 40 out. Rayleigh down this short side, runs a long way from dummy half. The Knights with 1 more. They need a result. 2.5 left on the clock. Elliott for Hastings. He'll put it in the air. Pierce Paul is there, so was Marju, who came down with it. A whistle, and the call is a knock-on by the Knights.
I think it is Marju that knocks the ball on.
Tackle 6, mate. Newcastle challenging, on-field decision, knock on Greg Marju.
Any number of players around that could have taken that football. They contested for it. And I think you'll find that Marju was knocked on.
Clear kick chase leading into this. Pierce Paul is attempting to knock the ball backwards. It comes off the right arm of Greg Marju, which goes forward back into Pierce Paul. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Look is all they need. No touch there by Anderson. So 2 minutes and 12 seconds remaining. They've replaced the carpet that Craig has worn out once again inside the Melbourne Storm coach's box. We'll see if they can work it away here without incident. Newcastle trying to force an error as the Storm roll up their sleeves, trying to secure win number 9 for the season. Kamikamitha will play it there for Grant. Christian Welsh looks up and Thompson's in his windshield. Midway through this set. Worked it away without a problem to this point. King, it's safety first up. Oh, he's played it sideways there. Oh, it's going to be a penalty against the Newcastle Knights.
Well, desperation here from both sides. I thought he might have put the whistle in his pocket here to end this game. And that is a relieving one. That's nearly game over. Brazil all over King. Didn't allow him to play the football at the first strike.
That's why he was going sideways. Shoved there by Tyson Frizzell. Well, it'll take some sort of turn of events for Newcastle to get out of jail here and send this to Golden Point as Grant Just on 60 seconds remaining now. Finds Liero. Just outside the 30. Thompson ripping at the ball, trying to take it away from the Melbourne Storm forward. King for Welsh. Bounces off Elliott. Runs towards Crossland. Do they dare take a field goal attempt, or do they just bang it in and turn it over with barely one play remaining for Newcastle? 4 tackles gone. Grant looking out the back. He'll feed it, feigns to go to the right, goes to the left. Wishart was taken here on suspicion. This will be a penalty and a professional foul to win the game.
Yeah, it'll be a binning too by the look of it.
We've got no penalty try. I want to see if Tyson changes his line for a potential professional foul.
Clock stops
Melbourne
at
can
27
chase up
seconds
onside.
remaining. Wishart is the target for Harry Grant.
Tyson Frizzell takes Tyron Wishart out of play. This is a professional foul. Ruling out a penalty try as the ball goes away towards Anari Tuala. We have a decision.
Pretty simple one there for the bunker blocky.
Yeah, I don't know whether they'll bin him. Only 27 seconds to go. Tyson Frizzell has taken Wishart out as he tried to chase through that kick from Harry Grant.
Tyson, injury or no injury, is in the bin.
That's a given, given the nature of the situation there.
I'm glad it doesn't carry over the next week.
Yes, well, there might be a greater concern for Tyson Frizzell, the way he is limping from the field there. But no question, he just followed Wishart in and knocked him to ground. It might have been a little bit of knee-on-knee contact potentially there, but that is a big concern for the Knights. In the last few seconds of the game, a posse of trainers surrounding Tyson Frizzell to ascertain what exactly happened there in that contact with Tyron Wishart.
I think you're right there, mate. Knee on knee. He doesn't normally go off unless he's injured. Tyson Frizzell. Looks like it's coming good now. Getting a bit of movement there. And that's all she wrote now. After this kick, she'll be all over.
Well, they've been tested in this run towards full time. The points they banked early in the second half, and they just blew the Knights off the paddock, given penalties and set restarts by Newcastle. It was enough today for their 9th win of the season in a high-scoring affair here at Amy Park. They kick off the Sunday ticket with another Melbourne win. They've taken down Newcastle 36 points to 28.